The Bamenda Babaju road distance initially covered in 1 hour has now doubled to 2 hours because of the deplorable state of the road. Drivers say driving across the Bamenda Babaju stretch of the road is a veritable nightmare, while road users say the road has simply been abandoned by government officials in Cameroon. It is the stretch of the road that Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph John Guti promises that works will begin on within the weeks ahead. We shall be telling you just how people suffer driving across that stretch of the road in this edition of the news. But while Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph John Guti rounds up his visit in the northwest region of Cameroon, several villagers have been rendered homeless in one of the villages of the Donga Mountain in the same region as their houses have been burnt. Reports say their houses were burnt within the confrontations between defense and security forces and armed separatists. These are the top stories. Thanks for choosing to listen to information on Equinoxe Television. We're live from Equinoxe Center News Desk, Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city. We begin on rather a sad page to say that Sultan Ibrahim Bombo Joya, the monarch paramount ruler of the Bamoun dynasty in Cameroon, on the road to eternity, bike riders in the economic capital city have joined their voices to others coming from within and out of Cameroon to pay homage to the monarch, the ruler of the Bamoun dynasty. The bike riders gathered in Douala under the umbrella of the National Syndicate of Commercial Motorbike Riders, founded by Sultan Ibrahim Bombo Joya. Innocent Haze tells us more in the following report.
An assembly of commercial motorbike riders in the city of Douala giving their ears to the president of the National Syndicate of Professional Motorbike Riders, Sina Trapomokam, known to have been founded by late Sultan Ibrahim Bombo Joya.
C'est à la mémoire de notre Sultan roi de Bamoun, qui est le président fondateur de notre syndicat.
An event aimed at paying homage to Sultan Ibrahim Bombo Joya, who will be laid to rest this Saturday, October 9th in Fumban, Noon Division of the West Region. My heart bleeds following the demise of a great king, King of Kings. Your departure renders us, your children, orphans. You are gone, but you will forever remain king, an impartial king who never discriminated but treated his children equally and peacefully resolved any dispute. You merit paradise. Being the founding president of Sina Trapomokam, Sultan Ibrahim Bombo Joya is honored in a special march by the motorbike riders who move through different streets in Douala.
C'est un grand homme qui est parti.
It is a hero who is gone. His death concerns us all, and not only the people of Fumban or the West region. My heart is filled with sorrow.
La douleur est tellement si grande que si je continue à parler, vraiment vous allez essuyer mes larmes.
A homage supported by Press B, Jeunesse Présidentielle, that has been encouraging youth to use their skills to support the emergence drive for a better Cameroon.
Au travers de la jeunesse qui porte ce mouvement aujourd'hui.
We supported this march because it is in honor of Sultan Ibrahim Bombo Joya, a man of peace, reunification, and a man filled with love.
De beaucoup d'amour.
It is imperative to bear a message of comfort and encouragement to the population of the Noon Division of the West region, and most especially to youths who mourn a great peace-loving father.
Un élan de courage, un élan de force, un élan d'amour et un élan de paix.
Sultan Ibrahim Bombo Joya will also be paid state homage this Saturday. Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph John Guti represents the head of state, Paul Biya.
And the mortal remains of the monarch left the nation's political capital city, Yaoundé, and rode to the Noon Division of the West Region today. As you could see on the report compiled by Equinoxe, the traditional rulers of the West Region, those across other socio-cultural areas of Cameroon, joined their brothers and sisters of the Noon, and the funeral officially will be tomorrow, and the president will be represented by Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph John Guti, who will leave from the Northwest Region, crossing over to the West Region. But while in the Northwest Region, John Guti said that works were to begin on the Bamenda-Babaju stretch of the road, the lone stretch of the road that links the Northwest Region to the rest of Cameroon. The road has been on a deplorable state. Initially covered in 1 hour, it takes 2 hours now to be able to drive from Bamenda to Babaju. Babila Jonathan takes you to the challenges faced by road users and drivers of that stretch of the road.
From Babaju in the West Region to the Northwest Regional capital, Bamenda, is a difficult journey. Drivers have to go into and come out of potholes throughout a close to 40-kilometer distance. This driver tells us that the length of time it takes to cover the distance has significantly increased.
When road is fine, if you easily take from Bamenda to Babaju, you take 1 hour from Bamenda to Babaju, but now you take at least 2 hours 30 minutes.
This has a huge impact on his income.
If you want to check the transport, that 2,000 really help for anything, because document for motor will pay, and then the road will take a motor display, go garage, all those things. We just help people and help them.
The greatest impact of the bad state of the road is on the technical state of his vehicle.
Motor all time at garage. You walk quite alright, but nobody says any better thing, because even your health, your waist pain, everything, all side they are saying, and motor no dey fine, come back go only garage.
Insecurity is another major problem along the road, especially from Matazam in Santa subdivision to Upstation.
We just come on and say we don't get choice. Man, no be sure we're out there hungry, because we want to not get back home. We just want anything to happen for you.
It is for this reason that the World Bank suspended the financing of the project after the burning of construction equipments of the company that was executing the construction works.
Some time ago, bouncers on work there, they burned equipment. And now we want to acquire equipment and we want to use Génie militaire, or want to use the commissariat, the brigade, to see if we can carry on project. If not, we cannot carry all the equipment are very expensive for the state.
In Bamenda, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Cameroon, Chief Dr. Joseph John Guti, announced imminent resumption of reconstruction works on the Bamenda-Babaju road.
If there's no peace, look at the Babaju-Bamenda stretch of roads, which was given out to Sultan. They couldn't do it. But we have managed, and I can tell you today that road is going to start, because the World Bank has uplifted the ban they put on the construction of that road. So 3 national companies by indigenes of the Northwest are going to do in 3 different stretches the road.
At the Commercial Avenue ceremony ground, he gave more precisions on this.
Immediately I go back for Yaoundé. I convene the 3 companies where they get for do the Babaju-Bamenda road. They start work immediately, because the people where they finance that road, World Bank, they be put ban, say because of certain conditions, make that work no start. But just a few days ago, they don't remove that ban, so work go start this month in Babaju-Bamenda road.
Urging the population of the Northwest region to hold him by his words, he reassured them that the nightmare will soon be over.
Receiving delegation after delegation, representatives of the 7 divisions of the Northwest region, Prime Minister Joseph John Guti listened to the particular worries of the people of different areas that make up the Northwest region. with the Momo delegation led by Minister Rose Mba Acha. Prime Minister had the opportunity to understand the impact of the armed conflict on Momo division. Rose Mba Acha Fomundam indicated that she was happy that the PM has promised to visit Momo if everything comes back to normal. Take a listen to her.
We submitted a memorandum, and the memorandum has been written by all of us, in which we propose means which we can cooperate together with the government and see that peace returns to Momo division, in particular, and to the northwest at large, in such a way that if we actually do what we have written to the Prime Minister and the government accompanies us, gradually we'll get these boys out of the bushes. We are hoping, as the Prime Minister has promised us, that he will come to Momo division, but then it's given us a big challenge. Go ahead and let peace return to Momo so that I can come there peacefully.
Came up with a plan of peace, stabilization and security, which actually I made it forwarded to the head of government and Prime Minister, amongst other administrative authorities, to see how we can combat peace and stability to regain the two regions, Northwest and Southwest. If they take some of the factors into consideration, or many of the factors, the economic of Northwest and Southwest will gain back to normalcy. Okay. I'm talking as an economic operator. I've been on the media several times requesting for an inclusive, genuine dialogue, which today many stakeholders actually longing for an inclusive, genuine dialogue, which I think the head of government, Prime Minister John Gute, on his tour in the two regions have understood, and it's been very, very comprehensive to bring all the stakeholders on the platform to listen and get solutions, which actually that is what is transpiring today.
And after the Momo delegation, it was also time for the representatives of the Ngokitunja and the Mezam divisions of the same region. The delegation from the Ngokitunja division was led by other stakeholders of the region, and one of them was Ufe Chinje Melo, who is an elite of the area. She said that the worries of Ngokitunja were presented to the Prime Minister, and they are hopeful that normalcy will return to Ngokitunja. The same view is held by the mayor of the city of Bamenda, who was part of the Mezam delegation. Take a listen to them in the following extract selected by Babila Jonathan.
It's unfortunate that Momo division is where it is, because a majority of those sponsoring the crisis out of the country and within the country are from Momo division. And it's a pity that most of the destruction, children not going to school, hospitals not even operating, every economic activity dead, is Momo division.
And that was one of the members of the Momo delegation, Honorable Enui Francis, who was speaking shortly after their meeting with the PM. And now, as announced, you shall be listening to some of the stakeholders from the Ngokitunja and the Mezam division. They were part of their different or respective delegations.
The Prime Minister came to thank us for what we have been to make Dongaman to an exception. We tried to explain to him the type of dispositions we took from the start of this crisis to make this exception. And despite this, we are going through a lot. We can't reach Bamenda. It takes 3 days to reach here because we can't pass through the neighboring divisions that you know. So we did ask that these conditions be alleviated by the road that passes through the west. By the way, it's good and correct that a region should not just have one access road out of it. So the Prime Minister took it on board. And just to let you know that we're paying a big price. For almost 1 year, we have no electricity in Dongamanto. We laid out all these points, and we asked that the ring road, for which we already have financing from the African Development Bank, be started, this is going to give hope. Many people will return to the region, and it will not only be for Donga Mountain, it will be for the whole region. And we also stretch it that the 2 axes which have been approved, Kumbo, Ndu, Kambe, Misaje, and then Misaje Nigerian frontier, will come to give a new sense of economic power to the whole region as a whole. The PM was very positive, and he said something that was very interesting, that we share a lot in common with his own Dian as a border division, the challenges, the cuts, and he said he's taking on board and that Donga Mountain deserves for their problems to be looked to, knowing what they have gone through.
That was Dr. Fukalistos, leader of the Donga Mountain delegation, speaking there on the particular concerns of the Donga Mountain division and their chats with the Prime Minister. We shall be moving forward to talk about the report and the reactions of civil society stakeholders who are also listened to by the Prime Minister. One of them is Professor Akumbom Mark Anthony. He indicated that most of the worries raised by individuals who are received by the Prime Minister are things already known by the Prime Minister.
There are no new proposals that have not been given to the Prime Minister before, because almost everything that came back today, we had received it before. What actually caught my attention is not the fact that they gave him proposals, was the fact that the people of the Northwest, and precisely of Mezam, from where I come from and the delegation from which I was received with, actually showed the Prime Minister we are ready for peace and we actually want to make a difference. But we will need the administration to see into it that some unnecessary reactions that come from administration should be limited. For example, considering a situation where you could communicate to want to talk to somebody who is in the bush, before, if you speak to somebody who is out there in the bush, and you might be considered as their sponsor or one of them.
And it was happening at a time when some individuals in some parts of the region were in tears, and some were those of Lu and Tundi villages of the Donga Mountain Division, northwest region of Cameroon. The locals say that on Tuesday, the 5th of October, that was precisely when the Prime Minister was heading to the region, a military raid on suspected separatist fighters in these villages saw the burning of houses like you can see on your screens, and the people also said that the raid that took place in particular neighborhoods and quarters like Tamba saw several houses down and also enormous material loss. We shall be coming back to some of the impacts left by the raid on individuals believed to be separatist fighters in Lu and Tundi villages of the Donga Mountain Division of the Northwest region. But information gotten so far says that several persons have been rendered homeless as their houses were set ablaze. It is also said that houses burnt were those suspected to be hosting armed separatist fighters. In the Southwest region, members of the Southwest House of Chiefs have started the initiative to train them on social cohesion. The 2-day workshop took place in the Southwest Regional Chieftain Boya, as Derek Jato tells us in the following report.
They are the auxiliary of the administration, and they are also the custodian of the tradition of their people. And today these traditional rulers are at the center of the Southwest Regional House of Chiefs. Drawn from all the 6 divisions that make up the Southwest region, these pioneer members of the House of Chiefs say it is necessary for them to be groomed in order to be able to do the right thing for the first time. Reason why they recently convened on Boya for a capacity building workshop on the management and administrative leadership skills, on social cohesion and community engagement in the management of traditional chiefdoms in the region. And it was chaired by Zacchaeus Bakuma Elango, President of the Southwest Regional Council.
At the end of this seminar, our traditional rulers who are members of the pioneer Southwest House of Chiefs will return to their various constituencies, their various chiefdoms, to enable them, this knowledge they will gather from this seminar will enable them better cater for the welfare of their subjects.
At the end of the 2-day workshop, Chief Ateme Bako, president of the Southwest House of Chiefs, expressed satisfaction that all the 6 models were well diagnosed.
You know very well that the putting in place of the decentralization process has had its own hiccups here and there, and that did not spare the House of Chiefs. The budget of the House of Chiefs was voted in June, and its application and implementation is just happening. So it is now ripe time for the chiefs to gain, from the budget allocations and acquire these skills. And that's how we are starting now.
What we are just on teaching them, there are strategies that they should put in place to gain skills to administer their subjects back in their various chiefdoms.
And that such platforms should be recommended to speed the contribution of all traditional rulers in the region, especially in this present socio-political dispensation.
And in sports, Cameroon is leading by 2-0 within the matches counting for the qualifiers of the World Cup Qatar 2022. Cameroon is leading Mozambique by 2-0. The match is still ongoing in Cameroon's economic capital city. Coming up is Talking Point, still with Equinoxe. On Talking Points, we're receiving Prince Epie Ejede. He is the National Communications Secretary number 2 of the Popular Action Political Party. Prince, thanks for accepting our invitation.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
You travel from the nation's political capital city, Yaoundé. Prince, first thing, what do you make of the visit of the Prime Minister to the Northwest region? It's rounded up.
Yes, I want to say that the visit of the Prime Minister in the Northwest, for me, we of the Popular Action Party don't see that it is what Cameroonians have been expecting for the solutions of the Anglophone crisis. You know very well that this same Prime Minister was being given the mantle by his boss. I'm talking of the President of the Republic 2 years ago, of which what they told us about the major national dialogue, of which we know very well that the major national dialogue was a scam or a sham. State money, state funds were being, billions upon billions were being put, but today we have no resolutions. All the measures that the government have been taking, all those measures have been cosmetic measures. Well, we saw the first measures that was being taken, the Musonge Commission, that is the Commission of Bilingualism and Multiculturalism. There is nothing to write home about. Where are they? We don't even see them. It was just something that was being...
Yes, the Prime Minister, when you said the major national dialogue was a scam, a sham, the Prime Minister went to the Northwest to see the implementation of the recommendations of the major national dialogue, and he spoke largely on the putting in place of the regional assemblies and the particularities of the special status for Northwest and Southwest, the public independent conciliator, and all other major projects, announcing the towering of the Bamenda Babaju stretch of the road.
All those measures that you are taking, we are still saying, and we are saying that it will not help solving the Anglophone problem.
That is to say that his visit will have no effect on the situation we're living in the two Anglophone regions.
The major national dialogue was a failure. When you are talking of the special status, what is special about the special status? It is something which is empty. It is the major national dialogue itself. We know very well that it was a monologue which was being trumpeted by the regime, and I want to say that the Popular Action Party itself is one of the political parties that had cried foul that all the recommendations that were being made at the monologue in Yaoundé last 2 years will not help solving the Anglophone crisis. Because what is really happening is sad. But I want to say, looking at the personality of the Prime Minister himself, like somebody that I know very well, he was somebody that I think this regime could use to solve the Anglophone crisis. But he's a man whom you can see the difficulties that they are putting him in. We take, for example, we saw like late Christian Cardinal Toumi, some of the recommendations that he gave. He even had a document which was more than 100 to 200 pages, which he came out with solutions to help this government to solve this problem, but they did not heed to it.
So, when you say the personality of the Prime Minister of John Gute, his personality is correct for a solution to the crisis, but now they're putting him in difficulties. What difficulties? Because he takes the initiative and he's gone to the field. He's the man for the people. He's always been on the field to talk to the people, to feel their difficulty.
He is always on the field. For me, as on Sunday, he's always on the field, but people keep dying every day. Children are not going to school. But you are saying he's always on the field. So we are saying that. Why do I talk about his personalities? Because looking at him, he's first of all a traditional ruler. I know him like an expert in law. He has worked in many. For example, he worked in the Ministry of External Relations. Yes, in charge, the minister in charge of Commonwealth. Yes. So with all the caskets that I know about him, he was somebody that maybe this government could use to negotiate. But we know that. The people who are behind this don't really want the Anglophone war to end. So he's a man that is being sent in front, but they don't give him the necessary arm for him to solve the crisis. And that is why we are still having the repercussions. People are dying every day.
Your PAP party says the strategies adopted by the government or the CPTM-led government, it's wrong. What should be the right strategy?
The strategies, we are repeating, as one of the voices and the spokespersons of the PAP party, we are saying that the strategies that have been taken by the government are wrong. For example, you made mention of Sultan Joya. During the major national dialogue, Sultan Joya talked of a federation, that we should go back to federation. And we believe that it is through federalism that the solutions of this country can, especially the Anglophone war, be solved.
All right, thank you very much. You are the Communication Secretary number 2 of the Popular Action Political Party. The proposals of your party have been gotten so very well. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you also for being with us on this edition of Talking Point. Still Equinoxe Television. Interesting programs continue.